the older I get, I'm turning 50 this year. The experiences that I've had working with national teams and Olympians and, seeing a lot of dirty laundry, um, it's all about behavior change. So I'm going to leave here today. I'm wearing my Cal Berkeley coaching outfit. I'm going to go over and watch the women's water polo team, who I get to work with, have their first season of the game, first season of the game of the season. And so much of what I do, we don't need high level micro technical aspects with these incredible athletes. My job is to be able to come in and support the staff and the athletes so that they can go play more effectively. And it turns out the greatest limiter for that is all behavior change. Looking at if we have all of this information available to us, when and where are we going to deploy that information and what's essential? I think one of the things that you know, put your hand or your finger on, which is something that I think is really important to me, is one of my coaching senseis, one of my mentors was a coach named Mike Bergner, who's an Olympic lifting coach. And I was able to watch him coach a room full of beginner adults in Olympic lifting. And then that evening, coach Olympians. And the next day, go coach high school kids in the essentials of lifting. And what was really mind blowing about that was that I could see his thinking. I could see the progression from raw beginner, zero training age, to an adult who has some training experience, to very specialized. How am I going to meet the needs? But you could see the through narrative of why he chose these skills, how skills built and how they regressed and progressed. And I remember thinking to myself consciously, wow, I need to become a lot more competent to understand how all of these tools and behaviors fit together. What is the essential behavior that we can continue to build? And more importantly, where we are right now, and the thing I'm kind of obsessed with is taking what we think is good practices and spin them backwards and try to transform society with them. So I think sometimes we come back to that original idea. Why am I even competent at my job? I really like to see patterns and I need to see how things relate. So it's easy to go down a rabbit hole and become a specialist or a devotee of a certain thing. But ultimately the goal is X. Let's get you out of pain. Great. What are the tools available to us? And how do those tools emanate from restoring range of motion, managing tissue physiology, getting you to be less stressed and feel less safe or more safe in your environment, more slept? And by the way, those are the same tools we're going to talk about if you want to go win a world championship. So that's the thing I think I'm really continuing to struggle with and innovate on or iterate on. How do we start and where do we start with some kind of aspect of society so that we can end up with who ultimately is the best learner, has the best coaching, has the best genetics, not who was able to manage all the dysfunction in their life the best to accidentally win, right? I want to reproduce high performance so that people can live their lives the way they want, pain-free or self-actualizing, and not have those choices taken away from them.